What's going on, everyone? It's Jeremy with JMed's Brick Clicks. Let me ask, do you have a bunch of these little polybag sets, whether they're the Speed Champion sets from the last 4 years or some of the just smaller cars from the years before that, back in the late 2010s? I got the newest one here, the McLaren Solus GT. The very top here, make sure you guys can see that one. And I made this little, just like display thing to put on my shelf to try to just save display space, try to go vertical rather than horizontal, and pretty happy with it. It's a very simple build. Believe me, it's if you have the basic parts, you don't even have to do it in these colors. As long as you have the big window pieces, it's a simple, semi-cheap build to be able to do it. So there's the back. You can see it's 8 wide, sidewise, and then front we're 8 wide. You can see I put some of the older ones at the bottom and then work my way up to the top. And then going forward, next year or the year after, I can just add another floor and keep going up. Or I could just build a whole other tower, double wide, and just start building beside it. So, I mean, I'm set for the next 5, 6, 7 years, at least in this aspect. Display space for other stuff, a few years from now, that's going to be a problem, and I have no idea of that solution or answer yet. But at least for these, sure. Now let's take a look. Each one's on just a little display space, so you can kind of see. Let me move it closer. At least you can see the Lamborghini. I built them just on these little platforms. They're really easy to make. That one, I just had extra ones of that doesn't have the studs. Most of the others are all studded out, 6 or 4x6 with studs. And you can see it is so simple. I just had a bunch of extra gray pieces, and you can either use a jumper. Some of them, because I had to do that because some of them are 3 wide, some of them are 4 wide, like the older ones, or some of them are 2 wide. So that's why I done that, and it just holds it in place. I elevated it just a little bit, just so you can kind of see down, so they're not just flat. Had to add some of the floors. You can see have an extra stud or extra plate going. It's because the spoilers on the back kind of get a little tall. Kind of show you that. Yeah, you can see how close, at least that one for sure. Try to get the glare off of it. Yeah, that one's not too bad. Some of them do. I probably should just make it uniform. I think there's only 2 of them that, that need it. Anyway, that's my little, I guess, display for these cars. Pop another one off. Yeah, see, I used that one. There's just a lot of them. Every single one's got a weird bottom to them. So you kind of just have to figure out and play with the best options to get them to fit. I mean, because there's not a one-size-fits-all thing. Let's look at this little Porsche design. I'm not sure what year this came out. I know it's at least 5 years old. But yeah, that one, it's a 6 wide or a 4 wide across the bottom. So I used that piece, but honestly, you can't see those pieces. So I mean, who cares about that? And then you just kind of got to be careful putting it back in, and then it pops down. And there you go. So we got the muscle car on the bottom, and we'll just work our way up. And it's a little bit taller than a base plate. Let me grab a base plate. All right, here's a standard 32 by 32 base plate. There's where we are. So right now we're a base plate and a half. So probably 48 studs tall. Sure. We can go way higher. I can go wider. Either way, it doesn't matter. It's just a little thing. It's going to sit in one of my shelves. I had some corner space for on my shelving for a taller build, but I didn't have a lot of space out wide and kind of going wide, kind of lost for words. So it's just going to sit there. I'm sure it'll sit at an angle so you can see all the cars. But yeah, if you guys are looking for ideas, this is a semi-cheap idea if you have a bunch of these cars. And if you have other cars like the, oh, let's see. Let me grab one or two more. So if you have other cars like the Humvee that came out a few years ago, a little polybag, any of the Batmobile polybags, granted this one's going to be too wide, but I mean, honestly, how hard is that going to be to alter and make just a little bit wider? So you need a few little, probably an 8 wide or maybe a 10 wide stud back. Some of them might, the platforms, you know, you might have to alter them to be a little bit longer, but really, I think it's a nice design that if you're in a pinch for display space and you need to start going vertical instead of horizontal across the shelves and you got a bunch of height, this might be the way to go. So anyway, thanks for watching, everyone, and we will see you in the next video.